Hello, boys. Welcome back to Puck and Stuff Podcast, episode 13 with my boy T-Dog. Well, oh my God, did I forget the catchphrase?
I'm going to let you figure it out on yourself here.
Oh, really? You're going to let me figure out the catchphrase on my own? Oh, crap. Oh, yes, I do remember. This episode is sponsored by, well, a man can dream.
A man can dream.
Oh, we're finally back after 2-week delay. We missed the trade. We missed the trade deadline, and we missed a few Flames recaps. That's for sure.
Sorry, guys, is out there with a non-COVID illness, upper body injury, lower body injury, kind of, it's non-disclosed for the playoffs.
Yeah, he came back just in time for postseason.
Yeah, well, how is this so inconvenient? It's funny how we're consistently talking about, okay, we can't wait. We're going to have so much content for a trade deadline, and then I get sick.
Yep, get sick, and it all goes down the drain. Business was booming, and now we got to start from the beginning. So sad. But anyways, now we even have more to talk about since that little delay.
We got so much. Right now, we have the Flames game on. We're recording this as they're playing the Kings in LA right now. And that first goal was pretty funny.
It was 10 seconds in. 10 seconds in. And we literally just started practicing a recording again, and they score. And we're like, hey, boys, just maybe us coming back gives the Flames a little boost. Who knows?
Yeah.
That'll be much
that is something, eh?
Mm-hmm.
We're gone for 2 weeks. They go on this little slump that we're going to, talk about in a little bit here. And
I really hope we don't jinx it.
Come out pretty strong as soon as we start this. Oh, not from there? Oh, okay. Oh, looking like a good 3-on-2 there by the first line. But, yeah, so, B-Dog,
we got
there's a lot to talk about, a lot of games to recap, so, of course, we can't really remember them all, but it's probably good. Oh, they scored.
Shitty. I think
Kempe scored. Of course it was Kempe.
Oh, of course. But I think I actually have the best way of kind of going through this, and I think I'll start at NHL, what happened at the trade deadline.
Yeah, okay.
But I won't go over every single trade or signing or anything that went over. We're just going to go over the winners and the losers in our opinions of this trade deadline. So Tristan, I'm actually going to give it off to you first of who are your winners and your losers.
Yeah, so, just because I was gone for the 2 weeks,
Redemption. This is your redemption right now.
Kind of forget. I kind of had to recap a little bit. But, of course, the one team that really stuck with me in the sense of the winners was the Rangers. The New York Rangers, with the acquiring Frank Vatrano and Andrew Kopp, getting that forward group to be even more deep. Anyways, looking really scary even more now.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So they were the team that really stuck to me. And the fact that Kopp comes in and he had 2 points the first game he's playing, he's fit in completely well. And so, yeah, New York is looking scary, especially with, Shesterkin being hot and stuff. It's just, I can never say Shesterkin correctly. Oh my goodness.
That's why I just say Igor.
Yeah, I'm literally Igor. So the Rangers are the ones that was really intriguing to me. The Wild, of course, as well, because they had the acquisition of Marc-Andre Fleury, which, completely takes their team to the absolute top of what it's been compared to this year.
For the Wild?
Yeah, well, Marc-Andre Fleury's acquiration, right?
Yes,
so,
because
you have that in Talbot. Talbot's been playing strong, too. And so, that 1A, 1B situation is going to be very, especially
when you have Fleury in playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be over for most teams because you know how Fleury is in playoffs.
It also seems like the trade of Tyson Jost and Nico Sturm, it seems to be working. Jost seems to be a pretty solid a center as well, so that's some good depth for them because that's what they kind of need, right? It's like Minnesota is very much a team where it's the first line is absolutely like kind of phenomenal and you're amazed by it, but then the other just don't seem to have that kind of same level of play. It's more dump and chase hockey I find with the other three lines compared to the first line. It's almost like dump and chase like Kaprizov, Hartman, and Zuccarello kind of take the reign off of that. But now that they have a healthy Spurgeon too, right? It's all working out. So Minnesota is doing pretty. I'm enjoying that. I think Anaheim actually might have won as well. I think they were a bit of a winner. They do lose. They do lose Ricard Raquel, but with the Zach Aston Reese, I think it was Dominic Simone, and a few other draft picks with that, you get a really good return And that's what you need because this team is still retooling. It's not like, they're in the playoff spot. And of course they knew that. That's why they were sellers at the deadline because they knew that they weren't going to be in the playoff contention.
Yeah, actually, I do want to mention something about that. And they did actually have a really hot start at the beginning of the season because it did look like they could take that second or first wild card for sure in the West. But then they kind of went on that little slump, and they have a lot of young talent. And honestly, this was probably your best move because, let's be honest, you kind of finessed Boston there a little bit. Got a lot of picks and quite a good few prospects from Boston. And then what you did with Raquel sending him to Pittsburgh, you didn't get a big haul. If you maybe traded him probably 2 years before, you probably could have gotten big haul. Yeah. But hey, you know what? Raquel is on Pittsburgh, and you got a decent haul for him.
Of course, as well, the Manson trade was the first kind of bigger thing to happen before trade deadline. Of course, we're Manson going to the Avs, and so
that's the one we
Anaheim is still getting the return, right? And so, like I said, for what they need, I think that's why they win. The Pens, Raquel, it's a win because of the Raquel acquisition and all that. Because the Pens really are in that win now situation because of the aging core. But the fact that you're having really good seasons. Crosby's very underrated right now this year just because it's he had the injury, but dude, he's still point per game. I think I'm going to have to recheck the stats. I mean, if you could check the stats.
Got you.
But he's absolutely killing it. So him and Malkin with the injury as well, but he's still playing up to par.
Yeah, because it's still Malkin.
Jeff Carter, right? And then, of course, Jake Gensel is showing that he can play without Sidney Crosby.
And then you still have Tristan Jarry back there in goaltender.
So literally,
that's a
literally to me, man, Pittsburgh could be one of those teams, and I've probably said this with a bunch of teams, but man, they could surprise everyone and come out. They could be the one to come out. They still have the possibility. I'm not saying they are, but they still have the possibility that this team could still it's just crazy that the Pens management is so good that they can sustain this team even after their cup wins.
You know what's actually kind of scary about Sidney Crosby right now? So you know how we kind of had that injury at the first quarter of the season, right?
Yeah.
He's played 58 games and he has 72 points.
Yeah. No one's talking
that's
about
way
that.
over.
But this dude's a point, and I don't even know what the point average would be, but for that, but
yeah,
I can't do the
calculations
math.
for that. But
it's crazy, right? The Pens, man, and they needed that forward depth as well. I think that was really good for their third kind of second line. I actually don't know where he's slotted specifically.
Raquel?
Yeah, but
I think Raquel would probably fit on their second or third line.
But really, yeah, but it seems to all be working out. And honestly, with the Pens, as long as they.
That was a very needed pickup.
As long as they keep healthy and Jarry sustains himself, Pens are going to be a danger, man. A Rangers-Pens matchup would be very nice. I hope that happens.
I love talking about just hockey now because, we get into these we start talking about these situations, especially right after trade deadline, where the best contenders in the NHL start picking up the best players they can get for picks and everything, and every team looks like a deadly team that could go deep, but you never know which one actually will. And that's the exciting thing about NHL playoffs, in my opinion.
It feels like this year with sports in general, it's kind of different. Things just feel more competitive.
I feel like they pushed. I think the NFL kind of got it right the most with it because they pushed everything to the side and was like, hey, you guys love football. We're not going to push anything on you. You just watch football. And that's what made playoffs so great for me because there was nothing else involved. It was just straight football. And you got to see amazing playoff games.
That as well. I was also thinking in the sense of because of the whole COVID shutdowns and stuff, this being kind of like the first season of normality again. People, it's just working on
starting to scruffle again.
Oh, man. Is it IFL?
Oh, he's starting a big scruffle too with the goalie. Ooh. And then Anderson. Oh,
man.
This is actually, holy cow. Oh, Kachuk's coming back for more. Oh my god, they're still going?
Wait, why is the ref just standing there if they're trying to break it up?
Well, I think now it's like...
Oh, okay, now it's gone.
Oh, damn. Okay,
That's so funny. Wow, what was I saying? Yeah, I was going to say because of the COVID things, the whole COVID... Now this is like the first normal season, and players are playing hard. What's crazy is the fact that, okay, we already have McDavid and Draisaitl with 100 points. We have Matthews and Draisaitl with 50 goals. We could have 5 or 6 players this season with 100 darn points. It's crazy. And teams are scoring at will. I have not been this entertained, and not just because the Flames are actually like, you know, an above subpar team now. Watching hockey right now, everything is just enjoyable. Games are so much more competitive, and it's just nice to kind of have that. So
I love it. I love it.
and it seems to be it's keep me entertained. Sorry, but yeah. But back to the winners and losers here.
Yeah.
Avs, I was gonna say they're also a winner.
Yeah.
You pick up Manson, right? You're gonna get this depth because you kind of really do need to win as well because they might be in some cap trouble. And, you know, of course, that window is also closing. Colorado's going to be that team. They lose in the second round. They're going to be the next Washington Capitals with the meme and everything.
I think they would be worse.
Kemper's playing phenomenal right now. He has been stealing games. Johnny's in the box.
4-on-4.
When does Johnny Hockey go to the penalty box? I can see Dubé, but I'm surprised Kachuk didn't go in. He had the helmet. Well, he was getting absolutely manhandled like 3 Kings.
Yeah, that's what happens when you touch a goalie, but Kachuk is tend to do that. But actually, when you were mentioning...
Love these Pacific Division games, man. They're crazy.
Okay, yeah.
But this is why the Oilers and Kings matchup would be phenomenal because those teams don't like each other. You see how they're playing right now? It was like 10. It was like
that's what Gaudreau did.
It was like 2 times this at the Oilers Kings matchup. Who the King? Oh, Anderson
and Gaudreau are in the box right now. But actually, I did want to add on to your few things about what you were mentioning about Avalanche, and I'm really scared because they added quite a bit of depth.
Nico Sturm seems to also be a decent acquisition where it's like and it really works out because I think his cap will be friendlier than Jost. Jost was in a crazy cap hit, but it seems that it's also working. The team is winning without Landeskog. They played phenomenal even without McKinnon when they played against the Flames, and Makar is just wow. Makar is just wow, right? Like
he's just built different.
He's definitely born on the same planet as McDavid, right? Like that's how crazy he is. And yeah, the Avs, they have the depths, right? It really is the team. It's like what Sutter said, right? It's like if you're a wildcard team, like it sucked playing Avalanche because that's a waste of 8 days. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. They're scary.
It's really hard to be a Flames fan right now and also be in the same division as Colorado because if you compare how Colorado and the Flames have been playing, who has the better goaltending, Calgary or Colorado?
I think overall it is Markstrom.
It is
Markstrom. Had better games.
It is Markstrom.
It's just right now, I think it's because Markstrom's overplayed. So that might be a factor into it. But overall, throughout the whole season, Kemper hasn't been as sufficient as Markstrom.
But I gotta admit, I gotta hand Kemper his moment
100%.
Because how he was with Arizona is nothing compared to how he's playing with Colorado.
He wasn't even that bad in Arizona. It's just because he didn't have a team to play with.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens
just didn't have a team.
That's what happens when your defense is made up of Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who isn't in his prime anymore, right?
Yeah, but if you even look past goalies, yes, Calgary beats Colorado in goaltending. I think they just beat Colorado defensively to an extent. It's really hard because you still have Cale Makar on that team.
Yeah,
to an extent. I think for depth, I think the Flames just beat them, but offensively, I think Colorado kills us. Just by a little.
Not completely kills. The reason why I say that is just because it's kind of their. Well,
it's so hard, right?
They do have the better offense.
They do, but it's not by much
because they have a darn line with Landeskog, McKinnon, Rantanen, and then you have Kadri in your second, who's still raking up points like.
But then you also look at Calgary's first line, and then on the second line, you still have a decently deadly line.
Well, two of our players on the first line have over 85 points this season.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like they're shooting for over 95, so can't complain about that, right?
Can't complain.
Plus 30 goal scorers.
Yeah. That we have to sign 3 of next season, but we won't talk about that until next season.
Exactly.
So let's just enjoy the happiness now. Tristan, do you have any more losers?
Man, so another winner I was just going to put down was Florida. The Claude Giroux one, it's like Owen Tippett wasn't going to be playing in this system because of just how it is and stuff.
Got more finessed.
It's because Anton Lundell's just, man, what a stud that he's a young stud. So it's like, that kind of takes Owen Tippett. So I think it's really good for Tippett because he'll get some playing time in Philadelphia. I think he'll prove a little bit. I think Owen Tippett has a lot of upside to him. But back to Giroux, right? It's like, oh, they scored.
Son of a bitch.
Really? Kempe again? Oh my goodness.
No, but like literally with
Sutter is Sutter's
he's not a happy boy now.
We're playing so good the first half. What happened? Is it just
I started recording.
They're on the power play, but oh my goodness. That's tough. Yeah, Giroux. So it's like this guy was always one of the most underrated players in the league. I think it's just because of how the team was not that successful. There wasn't a lot of there was a lot of personal success, not a lot of team
Couldn't
success.
beat Crosby.
Yeah, literally.
Couldn't beat Crosby in that rivalry.
Man, yeah, Giroux already had a few points.
It's scary of a Florida right now.
Their forward group is just the amount of 20 goal scorers they have, right? It's like literally their first three lines.
Yeah, because like if you look at Florida before they even got Claude Giroux, they're one of the best scoring teams in the league.
I think,
and then you add Claude Giroux to that, and that's just terrifying.
If I'm correct, they still have the number one goals for.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I think. Yep.
Yeah. That it's like, and of course, win now situations. So that I don't think Philly League loses that.
But it's just kind of like I thought it was so weird that they gave up because if you look at the Boston trade and then you look at that trade, it's like, wait, why did you not get that much for Claude Giroux, but they got so much for Lidholm?
The reason why I'm not saying it's a fleece job was because we later found out that Giroux was only gonna go to Florida. So I don't think they had a lot of leeway. They could have not told teams, but I have a feeling that was already known. And so
decent prospect, no one tipped
it,
and then you get the first and a third. Honestly,
it's not
bad.
Terrible.
It's not a bad return. But it's just like when you compare it to Boston, it's just like
I actually think Boston was a loser.
Yeah, that's what.
Now Lindholm does kind of solidify a little bit more, on the D line there. However, that's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, I know.
6 years.
Because they extended him for 8 years right after they traded him. Tristan, do you have any remaining losers, or could I jump over?
I was okay. So Vancouver, I said. Some of these I might actually maybe have to do more research before. This whole is all kind of changing because of the difference. But Vancouver, I was saying because you lose Mott, and so you lose a little bit of kind of that locker room presence and all that. They got who was it that they returned? I can't remember who the trade was. They claim Richardson off of waivers, so you have some fourth line options there. But I just don't think Vancouver didn't do too much. Maybe it would have been nice, but
they traded.
Vancouver's in a weird spot. It's just
I think they're in a retool.
They're in a retool still. You just gotta make sure it'll make Hughes, Pettersson, and Horvat happy. So.
Yeah, and Quinn Hughes, and they got so many young players. God, Vancouver could look scary in 2 years. I don't want to think of that.
I was saying Chicago's a loser. I take it back.
I don't know. I would take a first.
I'm
happy. I think they would be happy they got the first for Fleury.
Maybe it's because they lost Hagel.
Oh yeah, they lost Brandon Hagel to the Lightning, right?
Who do they get in return?
I could quickly search this up. It's all good.
I can't.
So Tampa Bay acquired Brandon Hagel, a 4th-round pick in the 2022 draft, a 4th-round pick in the 2024 draft, in exchange for 2 prospects and 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. So it's
for Brandon Hagel, who, to be honest, one really knew 2 years ago. That's not bad. Good for Hagel to be able to...
Chicago did win that, though, in the sense of what they need. And they got a lot back. You know what? I'm going to say Chicago actually wasn't a loser, and they were in the middle.
Yeah,
because
middle.
I also should remember this, too. Yes, you lose Fleury. But guess what? You got Fleury for nothing. So you actually got something out of Fleury.
Yeah.
So, that works out.
And then he goes to a contender again.
So, I'm sorry for the slander, Chicago. Yeah, feel bad. My other loser was Dallas. I didn't think they really did anything too crazy. They got Nemestikov, but just because they're in that playoff push, and it's been shown they're I don't think they're gonna. They lost to the Kraken just a few days. I think yesterday or day before. Dallas just. I think they needed to do a little bit more retooling in the sense of maybe just buy a bit. But maybe they didn't really sell. I don't really think their acquisitions don't help too much. I mean, Nemestikov can be good slot out the third line there, so it's nothing terrible. I just feel like they should have done a bit more.
I have a very different opinion about Dallas, but I'll let you finish up
All
the
right,
list.
that's what I was saying. I'm probably forgetting stuff, and then it's gonna.
Might be biting you in the butt later. But anyways,
I can't even remember right now. But yeah, okay, you can go on your list because, like I said, I can't remember all these. These
you didn't do your research.
No.
God damn it.
Well, I did. I just forgot.
You know what? I'll give
2 weeks.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that you actually had to deal with a non-COVID illness for 2 weeks and kind of been off. So I'll give you the benefit of a doubt. But
too busy with school.
Yeah, for sure. And for my winners in this situation, you kind of listed a few. Like Minnesota Wild for sure was a winner. They got the goaltending in an A-B situation, which is perfect for them in my opinion. Florida, you got Ben. You actually got like a few decent requirements. Also Claude Giroux, which also adds to your depth, which is already terrifying enough. Same with the Pens and the Avs. I think it was great pickups for them. I didn't see them as losers in this situation. There was one winner on this that I'm kind of easing to the middle, but at the same time not, and it is Toronto.
Okay.
Because Toronto did pick up defenseman Mark Giordano.
Yeah.
They didn't fix their goaltending woes, but apparently it's kind of looking like they did. They've gone better because
Campbell looks back to form. I was watching a bit of this Lightning game. He made some really solid saves. I was like, okay, if this is what they're bringing in. If Matthews right now is doing 47 goals in 47 games, he's doing that goal scoring, and
they still don't beat Boston.
And what's his face? Jack Campbell is playing like he's been playing the past few games. Yeah,
they did.
Toronto is looking actually like they got some swagger to kind of show off in May.
Yeah, for sure. Like they just beat the Lightning today, 6-2. Good for them because Tampa is a really tough team that could look like playoff matchups. So that probably boosts them a little bit of confidence for sure. That's all I have for winners. And for losers, just like you kind of said. Okay, so Dallas is one thing I didn't agree with you. It's because basically, yes, during the trade deadline, they didn't do shit.
I forgot about Wedgwood.
They got Wedgwood.
I forgot about Wedgwood.
Yeah, they
just came
again. They didn't do a whole lot during the trade deadline, but just how they've been playing is much better because they are technically 1 point right behind Vegas, and they have the games like in hand. They have 68 games played. Vegas has 71, and they're only 1 point behind.
Yeah. Okay. So there's my research.
Like, there's your research for sure. But like, they in their last 10 games, they're 7-3-0. And they only lost against the Kraken. And that, to be honest, everyone has that weird game against a shitty team.
And Flames are having too many of those right now.
Yeah, I know. And they're not even... The last few games we played aren't shitty teams either. They're tough component, like playoff contender teams.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying to me. But still, I think we can hopefully get a good playoff push for sure. One team I kind of had on here that's like more leaning to middle than losers is also St. Louis in this situation.
Okay, what were their acquisitions? Nick Leddy was an acquisition, and it seems like it's like solidifying their deal a little bit. And I think that veteran leadership's really helping. But
I didn't see them do crazy. I didn't see them do crazy stuff at the trade deadline.
The thing about the Nick Leddy trade was that they traded away Oscar Sundqvist, and I always thought he was a decent depth piece. So I don't know. But Nick Leddy seems to be working out though.
Yeah, because it looks like actually the Blues gave up quite a bit during the trade deadline instead of actually add, which was very shocking in my opinion. Because, I really saw like St. Louis maybe be able to go on another deep run again, like they did in 2019. But again, if you look at the rest of the East and rest of the West, I guess, it's going to be tough for them for sure. I didn't see them as winners for sure. And then, another loser I have on this list is the Oilers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I hate on the Oilers a lot. It is kind of biased, but I also have my good reasons for it. And I'm not gonna lie, I have the balls to admit that. So during this trade deadline, yeah, they did pick up some acquisitions for depth in the forwards and the defense, like Brett Kulak. But, what did you do with the goalie situation, dude?
The thing is,
what did you do?
Was no goal. I don't think Fleury was really the option. Cap reasons plus.
I feel like
don't
there was
think
a
he
lot more
actually gonna
goalies out
come.
there than just Fleury.
I guess Wedgwood would have been a bit of a possibility. I guess there were. I don't think they were losers. I think they were in the middle. No, because so Brassard, when they first got him, he scored I think 2 goals in the first 3 games he played. So that was beneficial. And it seems like Edmonton's forward group, of course, is coming up a lot more. It's not just McDavid and Draisaitl scoring goals. It's other players, specifically the third line too, or Nugent Hopkins lines and stuff, which is really nice to see. As well, you said Kulak. So Kulak's not terrible. It really does help. That's a great third piece. But you know who they're missing? They're missing Adam Larson.
Yep.
So you're gonna want an Adam Larson, but it's kind of hard to find an Adam Larson when the market's too much for it, and there really wasn't the crazy amount of options for that. But I like the Kulak one because he's young, right? He's not old.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's a good third pair. So I don't see problems.
That's
why I say they're middle.
Yeah, but it's so hard to tell because we obviously knew the Oilers had their struggles with the defense, which they did have the depth piece, which was needed, but I think your biggest issue was goaltending, and I was very shocked to see they didn't do anything about that. And another team that is also on my losers list is Vegas. You saw that one trade that didn't go through.
But they're winning games now. See, I was gonna say they were losers, but after that,
I don't know if they're winners.
Weird. It's weird though, because they would have lost Dadonov, and if they lost Dadonov scored I think it was the first game back. He scored the OT winner. So the irony in that was hilarious. And uncanny.
That's very
But
true.
Eichel's heating up now, so it's I don't even. In that sense, I don't know. I think their management's just an L. Their management's an L, man.
Yeah, I still think it's a second round exit.
Yeah, you do, eh?
I've been
hopefully
betting
Leonard
that
comes back soon.
Ever since we started this. That's all I've been betting.
Hopefully,
should I put money on it?
Dude,
should I just waste $10?
Sports betting, man. Sport.
Come on, we got to get into sports betting eventually. You're already in fantasy.
But this will happen. I'll win a few things. I'm woo, and I'll put a little bit more in. And lose it all just because it's just some really dumb.
That's the fun of sports, Tristan. Thank God we're not into March Madness.
Oh, I should probably talk to the mafia members who run the leagues, and then they'll let me know who wins the game tomorrow, right?
Oh, dude, it's so hard to even try to guess hockey games. So hard.
Hockey is so difficult. It's we've been watching this for years and following it. It's who I still think Florida is one who comes up on top, but who can predict? Because it's every damn team in the East could literally be cup contenders.
Yeah, because
every single team in the playoffs who's in playoff contention. And they have been in playoff contention. We've already known who all the East teams were going to be since January.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Yep. We knew basically the playoff, we knew the playoffs for the East basically 2 months before trade deadline, not even. But back to what I was saying about Vegas, I still see him as a loser because they did have that slump. Yes, they are coming back a bit, but it's also Dallas is right behind them, and they have games in hand.
Yeah, so I guess we're different on this. I think Vegas comes out on top. I guess you see that Dallas seems like...
I think Dallas might take their spot.
The games on hand really do help, though. You got a good point on that.
68 games to 71. And they're only a point behind.
Yeah,
that's tough.
This is gonna be all these Pacific games are gonna just be hard. I mean, if Dallas isn't Pacific, of course, but
then if you really want to go into aspects of it, you have Winnipeg that has 76 points with 70 games. They have 12 games to basically somehow pull out a playoff spot out of their butts, and then Vancouver's isn't eliminated, but there's that small chance.
Yeah, it's been narrowed down. Dallas and Vegas.
The wild card has been nailed down to 5 teams.
Oh yeah,
pretty much.
Winnipeg really needed to win that game on Saturday, and they didn't.
Yep.
And
Jesse Pollock. Oh,
really,
what a guy.
really hurting them. So it's.
Oh, what a guy.
I really do think Stars and the Knights are kind of like those two. I think Vegas does come out on top personally, but
Actually, technically.
I see what you mean with the losers. It's just because, like I said, it's all different. What we were if we did this podcast the day after, I would have 100% said losers. I'm like, come on, you tried to trade Dad, and I didn't even know about his note, or you didn't tell anyone about the no trade clause. That's an L. Like, dude, he's not gonna want to play for you, right?
What's up with Vegas's management to their players?
They're-
I thought they would have learned by Fleury,
Okay.
but apparently not.
Like,
That
we-
is like such disrespect to players.
We know this is a business, but these guys, there's no loyalty. It
no
seems like, in
loyalty,
Vegas.
no respect. Like, that is
And
insane.
it's like always these superstars. That's why I like what Seattle's doing.
Seattle.
And I was actually
debating.
debating putting them as winners, which people are gonna like be like, "What? Really, winners?"
But
the reason why
Did they get a first?
I think a
out
bit
of
of a
Giordano?
W. The amount of picks they have is like, dude, that's all they need to do is just set up for the future because they knew they weren't gonna win, and then they kind of took from what Vegas because also they knew they weren't gonna be able to get as many good players just like how Vegas was because everyone kind of learned from the Vegas expansion draft. So I think
Whoa.
what Seattle's doing is like.
That's
Pretty
a lot.
decent. How many do they have for the next
First
year?
round. Okay, so for first round picks, they only still have their 3. For second round
They have
picks
3 first round picks?
this year, no, just they still have their normal like
okay.
3 for the next 3 years. They still only have 1 each year, but for the next 3 years, they have 8 second round picks
You know what's going to happen?
for this year.
Do you know what's going to happen? So, you know how
1/3,
with
3/4.
you know how with COVID and the whole Russia stuff going on, because of all that stuff, you know what's going to happen? And I'm calling it right now.
What? Call
Everyone's-
alert.
Everyone's calling this draft year to be kind of like a one-off. What's going to happen is there are going to be these certain specific Russian players that are going to be picked up by certain teams, and they're going to be studs. They're going to come out of nowhere. They're going to be like, kind of like a Datsuki. I'm calling it. It's going to be like a Datsuki, like late round draft pick, and it's just going to absolutely just like solidify a team. I think Seattle, with all their draft picks, is going to just get lucky, at least with one, and pick a stud. That's going to like be kind of their...
Shane Wright's looking nice out down there. That's for sure.
Man, Seattle,
I'm not gonna lie.
right?
He might go to Arizona.
But not
though.
just that. I mean, like if they like use a 4th round pick, I think with the how the 2022 season is,
team in the league right now.
it's very possible Seattle could pick up a stud in like the late rounds. It's possible. So
It's possible.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, because the 3 worst teams right now is Arizona, Montreal, Seattle, New Jersey, and Philadelphia, and Ottawa.
Okay.
And so those are probably looking like your best teams to get the first round pick.
Ottawa had a decent thing too. I think they won that trade with when they traded Nick Paul to Tampa Bay. I think Matthew Joseph seems like he's been really solidifying. Ottawa has pieces. Ottawa really does have pieces, and it just needs to slowly come together. I'm excited to see what happens. The more like Timmy Stützle, and Thomas Chabot,
Funny name.
and Batherson, and Brady Tkachuk develop.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
I think Ottawa's actually. I remember, was it this season or last season when they said we're done the rebuild? Was it this season they said that, and then?
It's like the year before. It's like Pierre Dorian was saying.
Yeah, Pierre Dorian was saying like 2 years ago, oh, we're done rebuilding, and they've been basically in the top 5 worst teams in the league since that.
Also, rest in peace to Eugene Melnick. He was the Sens owner. I guess
rest in peace to him.
I
kind of forgot.
That was a few days ago, but yeah, that seems something crazy, but it's unfortunate, right?
So sad. May our prayers go out to his family and friends.
What's actually, I heard something.
What's up?
Bieber is looking that if Melnick's daughters want to sell the team,
Bieber?
Bieber's looking to
Justin
like
Bieber?
legitimately go in and bid to like own the Senators. I'm not joking.
Why? He's a Leafs fan.
I'm trying to think. Are hockey teams like Ottawa profitable? Maybe just get good tax breaks. Maybe.
Okay, there was a lot of speculation because you see. Okay, so their like arena is 15. I think like 10 to 15 minutes outside of the city.
I guess, and they still need to get the arena.
They wanted to build a new arena into the city finally, but that never is going to happen. Not going to happen for a long time. I'm not going to lie. Melnick was like this is so disrespectful if I say this, especially when he passes away.
Wait.
But he wasn't really a good owner. Like, he kind of screwed the Sens on a lot of things.
He had his ups and downs. I think people seem like
that playoff.
I guess there was
sick.
People were saying that like he did a lot of like charitable stuff and things that
were
aren't talked about, which is really nice. Apparently he sent flowers to Carlson when Carlson's his wife had a miscarriage or whatever and stuff like that. So
I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say he was a
but,
bad guy. He did his thing. Like, he did what any nice human being does. But just for ownership over that team, he wasn't exactly, I would say, the greatest. And I think they could have obviously improved. Again, I'm not trying to.
I know.
Judge. Yeah, I'm not trying to be.
I understand because
I'm not trying to be a dick to the guy that just passed away. But
no, he did a few things that just made no sense, and I don't. It was almost like, what, are you just trying to like implode this team, like make a move or what? What's happening? And
that 2017 run with Ottawa was sick, though. I gotta give them that. They went to the conference finals against Pittsburgh. That was nuts.
It kind of ruined it for them.
Yeah.
They peaked too early, and then it just kind of imploded because of that. And
so, like Montreal?
Yeah.
Like
That's
Montreal.
exactly what it is. Montreal goes to the finals because of some crazy situation that COVID brings up, and now look at them, right? Price apparently might play in the next road trip.
Price still wants to play there?
He was practicing with the team today, apparently.
Do you think Price stays with them? Do you legit think next season, off season, you Carey Price, where do you go? What do you do?
I bet you Ken Hughes this offseason is going to go up to him and be like, do you want to chase a cup? If you want to chase a cup, we're going to grant your wish because you deserve it. Price deserves that chance. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Carey Price seems like a very loyal player to the organization, and the Habs fans love him for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love him to death for it. I understand. But you know what? I think it's up to him. I really think it's him if he says, hey, I would like to go for a cup, or hey, I'd like to stay with this team, right? Because maybe he doesn't want to be with the rebuild, because it's going to be a rebuild. I think it's going to be a lot longer than maybe wanted. And of course, they have some pieces that really do look bright. And man, Martin St. Louis has already turned that culture that was really just down and negative at the start of the season. It's already like going up a bit. It's really nice hearing these some of these really like the teams in the bottom of the league. A lot of them seem to just have a few changes, and it's like helping. Like Buffalo gets rid of the Eichel thing, and they get Tuck, and Tuck and Tage Thompson are these like players that are really upping Buffalo. And so, anyways, I'm kind of going off track there, but it's like, yeah,
a little bit, just a tiny bit. I'm still listening.
I think, I guess saying with Price, I think it just depends what he wants. So,
yeah, that's very true.
Price the Edmonton, they need a goalie.
I don't want that.
Koskinen has been playing decent though. Mike Smith has had a few good games, but it still is their big suit that like it probably is gonna cost them a few games.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So is that it for your winners losers?
That was it for winners losers. We did have the Flames recap to talk about, and then we could mention playoffs a bit more before. We haven't mentioned playoffs in a while, so I thought we'd just glance at it a bit before we get really into it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, because we're watching this game, and of course, we're pretty heavily invested in this Flames team. I guess might as well talk about it.
Cool.
One thing I want to start with is, okay, let's get the biggest thing out of the way besides the Pacific players. So, they're on a 3-game losing streak right now.
Yep.
They haven't seemed completely whatever. I've noticed that the team has looked different since the trade deadline. I have a feeling it might be chemistry. I was worried about this. I was worried if you keep switching up players and stuff, chemistry might be affected. I don't think it's completely just chemistry, because we have depth, and it's nice, and it shows that we have depth because of the injuries that we have right now, and we still can be able to sustain ourselves. It's just the team does not look what it looked like the last time I went to like watch a game in person, right? So it's been what? It's been like 3 weeks since this team's been kind of like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of lately been kind of that showing of the shade, like last like 2 seasons, a season ago. It was kind of showing that, but I really think this started when we versed the Avalanche in March and we got kicked in the mouth 3-0. Because it started. That's kind of where we started. Like, obviously, Tristan, you were sick, and we couldn't obviously talk about this. But I think that was the real first kick in the teeth. And then we versed.
Was that before Buffalo?
Yeah, yes, that was before Buffalo.
Okay,
because we played the Devils right after that, 1-6-3. Then Buffalo was 1-0. Then we versed Vancouver 5-2. San Jose was 4-3. That was tough. I think we should have won that.
Yeah.
Arizona was 4-2, a win. Then that working 9 to 5.
Yeah,
working 9 to 5. Flames Oilers. Oh, that's funny. And then we got kicked in the teeth again, 2-1 against Colorado again. And then we lost in the shootout against the Kings, and we lost against the Blues, and we're down 2-1 in the second against the Kings again.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know what happened.
We seem to really struggle with Western Conference teams, specifically Pacific Division rivals, and that's not good at all.
Yeah.
Good save, Markstrom. The thing... what I'm starting to see, if we... versus a hot goalie, we seem to just not get the puck luck we need and get the chances.
We get the shots.
We get the shots, of course.
We get the shots.
But nothing's capitalizing. And that's what I'm worried about, because the teams we have to play... Okay, you play... if you play St. Louis, who are you versing? Ville Husso. You're playing Nashville.
Oh, another one?
Who do you have to play against? You have to play UC Saros, who's literally Pecorino 2.0, I say. Man.
I don't think he's better than what Pecorino
dude,
was in his prime.
UC Saros is... that dude is a stud, man.
I'm not going to lie. He's a stud, but I don't think he's even close to what Pecorino was.
Even LA with Cal Peterson and Quick. Like, Cal Peterson's... And then... It's like...
Let Edmonton deal with LA. Let Edmonton deal with LA.
Honest,
not my problem.
Okay, I enjoyed watching the Battle of Alberta. Like, I loved it, but I was not very satisfied with the game because it was sloppy as heck, man.
I was so mad.
In a game like that, like I was saying, you do not have or win, or you don't know, that doesn't happen in playoffs. You don't have 9-5 games. I mean, if you do, it's maybe 1 or 2. And you can't play that sloppy, man. Like, they were just leaving. There's sometimes those giveaways were just awful. And as well, a lot of our problems too is staying out of the penalty box. But it's just high danger scoring chances seem to be dwindling, and it's really we're slowly kind of losing our lead and the goals for. Like, we used to be third, but I think we're like fifth now. No, I think we're fourth. But it's just little things. I'm just starting to worry a bit, and maybe I'm just worrying a bit too much because this is like adversity, and we haven't had adversity in a long time.
You know what's one really good thing though I can actually mention?
Yeah.
So, our goals for has gone down a bit, which I do admit. It's not one of the worst playoff contender teams, but however, we do have one of the best goals against.
Okay.
Because, like, so, I actually saw this a little bit ago, and there was these Oiler podcast guys. I can't remember the name at the top of my head, so hopefully shout out to them, whoever they are. But they were saying, so Edmonton goals for is 250 compared to Calgary's, which is 238. But then you look at goals against, Edmonton is 225, Calgary is 171.
Oh, jeez.
It's a big difference.
Come on.
Goal? Damn it. Okay. But, like, you see where I'm coming from. Like, Calgary obviously has been going through that little slump of goals for, but it's insane our goals against because of how deadly your goaltending dynamic duo has been. And also,
our tandem has been good. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, that's what I love. Sports are so funny because now that we've lost a few games and Markstrom hasn't been completely solid, everyone's like, oh, they're washed. It's like, come on, it's been a few games.
There's only one team beating them in goals against.
Ew.
And it's Carolina.
It's the Canes.
It's 164. Other than that, there's no other team beating Calgary in goals against.
I don't know. I mean, and I also think too. So we can talk about Sean Monahan. So he's out for the rest of the season because of doing surgery.
I feel so bad for the guy. He had hip surgery on one side of his hip last season, and now he has to get surgery on the other hip this season. I feel so bad for the guy. He was like a 60-point player.
He's in his prime. It's just sad. It's just sad to see it, right? And you know what? It's good.
That many injuries in his prime.
I heard that he's traveling with the team. I don't know if he's traveling with the team on a way, but he's with the team. So I think he's like.
Are you sure? I thought he was getting surgery.
I think it's in this. I think he has to do it in the off season. But he's like with the team, like he's like hanging around them and like being a part of the, which is really good. But which sucks. But I think we're gonna miss him a bit more because, you know what? As much as all that, he still was pretty solid with faceoffs. I saw some type of stat, and it was the last St. Louis, because we didn't have Monahan. First game we didn't have Monahan, and what happened? We lost 64%, I think, of it was. Ryan O'Reilly destroyed us on the face-off.
Oh.
And so it's already... I think we're going to miss him a little bit more than we expect. Hopefully Shillington's back quick, too, because he had that little... He's day. Richie, I don't think he's playing for a bit, man.
Hey, I give him the credit. He's not playing for a while, but I gotta give him the credit. He has grinded the last few games they've put him in. And Monahan, too, like the last 2 games where he came back from being a healthy scratch, he came back in and actually played a lot better than
I like his
I would
hustle.
have thought.
I like his
but then,
hustle.
Yeah, I loved it, too. And I was like, okay, cool. Monahan's starting to pick it up again. Then I see that, and I'm like,
I just so feel bad. It's
so hard to deal with that. And then another player I also want to mention that's been playing a lot better than I have said in the long term talking about him is Dylan Dubé. Dylan Dubé is a player I actually do have a lot of faith in, as you could probably tell through the last few episodes. I really did have faith in the guy of just what he can do with a puck, because I seen the guy play for a few years of playing hockey. But again, I think he had that little slump, and he's breaking out of it. And I think Sutter has said he's noticing it.
Yeah, well, Sutter was noticing, like you're saying, and yeah, it's like he is gritty. He works. He's got work ethic. That's going to be very important in the. I think
that's where he shines the most when we're in playoffs, and I would love to see that.
He could be one of those players. You know how there's always those unsung heroes in the playoffs, where it's like that one player that doesn't score a lot, and
Dylan Dubé.
I can see Dubé being one of those overtime heroes.
Hey, he did it in the World Juniors. He could do it for us.
Yeah, no, exactly. He was captain too. So, you know what? There's positives and negatives. Toffoli's in the box now. We can't be taking... that was a slash. You can't be taking penalties like that, man. Toffoli hasn't really been playing
turnovers, penalties. Biggest killers of this team still.
I was going to say...
60 minutes, not playing a full 60 minutes is back.
Yeah, literally. Are they tired? If they're tired, that's not good. Because if you're already
still have
tired...
like 15 games left.
Maybe less. We're going to be absolutely just beaten.
It's scary to think that, because I don't know. They don't look tired.
But okay, so players, Coleman needs to be playing a bit better now. Tanev, he's playing fine. Him and Gabrans, I love Tanev. Oh, who is that? We tripped?
It was Blake Coleman, the guy you just mentioned, and he fell.
So yeah, Coleman, Toffoli as well needs to step it up a bit. Mangiapane needs to, he has 30 goals, but he hasn't
done much since.
I have literally not seen him make a presence or be in some sort of a factor on the ice for a little bit now, and it's not worrisome, but it's just...
Oh, actually, did you...
You need it.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully
Did you see that little scruffle between Gabranson and Blake Coleman during practice? Mm-hmm. Did you see what Daryl Sutter said? He's like, good. I'd rather them get scrappy now.
Yeah.
Because if they want to be a playoff team, they need it.
Honestly,
I love how the team pushes each other just to a limit like that, where you start to piss each other off.
There are players...
It's not a great thing sometimes, but I think with Daryl Sutter's situation, it might be a perfect thing, because it pushes players to play even better than they are.
Well, there are players...
And they're getting frustrated, and maybe that gives them the want to be playing better, because it's Daryl Sutter hockey, and it's a tough game, but you have a chance of winning a cup because of it.
Yeah, so I was going to say some of these players are very feisty, and they really want to, have that factor. Lucci's just like that. Like, he has that kind of edge to him.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's showing. He's actually been playing better. I'm enjoying it. Johnny Hockey at least has been the one player I've been like, yeah, he's actually improved, I think. I think he's actually improved.
I'm not going to say anything more about Johnny Gaudreau until I see what he does in playoffs.
No, yeah, exactly. But
because
right now,
did you see what I sent you? Did I see? Did you see that?
Yeah,
basically his how he is in the regular season versus playoffs. I love Gaudreau. I always have. I always will. Just, dude, I need you to show up for playoffs.
You could say
this
that
is the one
about,
time I need him to show up for playoffs.
You could say that about Matthews too, though.
Austin Matthews at least puts up some points. Not obviously to get past Boston,
Yeah, I know.
but
Gaudreau
just straight up disappears. That's the difference. Matthews at least puts up the points. Gaudreau just ghosts. Imagine if you're talking to a chick and it's actually going really well and you're like just about to date and you're about to take her out on the first date and she ghosts you.
Yeah.
When you're about to need them the most, they ghost you just like that.
You're in the dance and just doesn't, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Who on the break?
Tyler Toffoli missed the net. Love it. Tristan, I think I have officially run out of things to talk about.
Well, I'm going to say...
I think I might give you your final words.
I was going to say that...
or your last say before
forgot.
we start wrapping up.
Maybe it'll come back to me, but we're also going to say quickly, so they call up Yusuf Alamaki, Connor Mackey, and Adam Ruzicka. So, no, I can't complain that. Like, so we have some depth. Like, our Stockton team is really good and it's got a lot. I wonder when we're gonna see. We're gonna probably see Matthew Phillips play a few games at the end of the season once we clinch. Right now. Him and Zari, or him and Peltier. Sorry, I think we'll see.
Peltier. I gotta admit though, like with how long we've had Brad Treliving as a Michigan. Did it work?
Oh, Kachuk is trying the Michigan now? That's so funny.
That's funny.
Oh, my goodness.
No, but, like, for how long Brad Treliving has been the GM for the Flames, he's actually built, like, a really good prospect pool we can actually decently look at and be like, hey, this looks not bad. Good like, you have your goaltending prospects, you have your defense prospects, and you have your forward prospects. And they actually all look capable of being good prospects.
Our scouts aren't terrible. And the fact that we actually have a goalie prospect in Dustin Wolf,
and a defenseman prospect in Val Mackey, and then you have like 3 to 4 forwards prospects that look amazing, and it keeps going on and on. Sorry,
it's just very nice to have that. I mean, I hope Stockton does something in the playoffs. Excuse me, because I think they were one of the first teams to clinch, if I'm correct.
I believe you are right.
But yeah, they're showing off a bit, so it's pretty good to have that. I can't remember what I was saying. Johnny Hockey was saying that. Improvement. Markstrom is gonna probably have to definitely play better. That's for sure.
I think we need to give him the rest. I think he's getting exhausted.
He needs rest.
I think Vladdy.
Vladdy needs to at least play two.
Needs to play, man.
Or sorry, we only have 3. Do we only have 3 or 4? No, we play in Seattle, right, on Saturday. Yeah, we do.
We play in Seattle, and then they come back to play us.
So let's just have 2 for Markstrom
game?
And 2 for. Isn't it in Seattle?
Well, no, there's one in Seattle, and then we play one more.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was like, man, how are we going to Seattle? I ain't going to Seattle.
Tickets are cheap. We can drive
I'm not paying $14 for water. You see that? It was like $12 or $14 for like a thing of water.
Bro, I'd rather pay like the $14 for beer if I'm wasting $14. But actually, when you were mentioning Stockton, they did clinch first in their division. 41 wins, 12 losses.
W.
That's impressive.
That's a W.
The Flames are first in their division, and our AHL team is first in their division.
Doesn't feel like for long with us, though. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, true.
It's kind of come out of nowhere, but you know what? This is adversity. We need
They're
it.
The second best team in the league, too.
A game like this where you're playing really high competitive and these guys know the stakes. It's at least these losses are close. We should remember this, though.
That is true.
Colorado was a 2-1 loss. LA was 3-4. 6-4 was St. Louis, and those are 2 empty netters. So it was really a 1-goal game if you really think about it. And then this game right now is 1 goal.
Like again, it's close.
So it's not that we're getting blown out. And it's not like everything's gone. It just feels like our luck is just ran out a bit because we had no injury bug. And then I was thinking about that. And I'm like, we have no injury bug. When is this gonna happen?
Right before playoffs.
Yeah, of course. A lot of teams have. Maybe it's good that it's sort of the month or the end of the month, though, right? Because a lot of teams, like Edmonton, for example, it's the one that comes to my mind, has had to play with injury problems through the season, and that's a lot of adversity. And I almost wonder if that's why a team like Edmonton is kind of coming and winning more games now later in the season because of that adversity. And now that they have everyone back, it's just kind of pieces are falling.
That is very true.
So, maybe we're, you know what could happen? We could be talking about this a month later. we win a bunch of games all of a sudden, then boom, it's like, wow.
Again, if we wait a
We're
week, this
playoffs.
video's old.
It
So,
could be possible.
it could
But
be
yeah,
possible.
so that's really all I gotta say. But hey, I can't wait. Good month. Spring's coming, and hockey playoffs, NHL playoffs is just amazing. I cannot
right
wait.
around the corner.
Like,
I'm so excited.
If I didn't have anything to do, if I didn't have to work or whatever, I would probably I would watch every single playoff game this year. Every single playoff game or a series, looks phenomenal. Like, I can't pick one and be like, this one's going to be boring. No, they're all going to be, like, bloodbath.
It's playoff hockey. It's always going to be a bath.
It probably won't happen, but all the Eastern teams could all be 7 games. Actually, the Western teams could all be 7 games. Like, it's just...
You know what, though?
So many teams are so close in skill.
You know how you perfectly end that? Anything can happen in playoff hockey.
Literally anything.
And
that's why the Nashville Predators... I don't know. Like I said, I'm not making any more predictions. I already said Florida wins the Cup this year, and I still believe it, but
I still said Vegas is out the second round.
That's it, because nothing is guaranteed, and man, I just can't wait.
Can't wait for playoff hockey. And to be honest, boys, I think that's where we're also going to wrap it up right there. I would also like to say thank you so much for the support. We're very sorry we kind of had that 2-week delay. We obviously have our own lives to deal with and all that good non-COVID illnesses. And again, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, a comment for any other thoughts you have or anything else that we should do. Subscribe. We're also on Spotify and Buzzsprout if you use those. And Tristan, I'll wrap it up over to you.
Alrighty, I think he said most of what we all needed to hear, but thank you guys so much for listening again. Like he said, if you have any concerns or recommendations, just leave it in the comment section below. And follow us on Instagram, Buzzsprouts, and Spotify, and subscribe here on YouTube. Smash that like button. Hey guys, have a great rest of your weekend, night, day, whatever you're doing. Scores! Who just scored that?
See ya!
Lynn